Not everyone's an artist, but everyone's a critic. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the difference between being analytical and being observational. Being analytical is basically putting yourself in that situation. You're trying to make sense of the situation. And if anything, you are critiquing this situation you see. So instead of just observing it and letting your life keep going, you question it. Why do we question things so much? Why are we so analytical of other people's lives and how they live it? This video is me analyzing. It's an example of being analytical, this video. Most of my videos are observational, okay? I like to observe. I'm a very observing person. But sometimes, I can get analytical. I can get judgmental. I can get critical, And being critical is just being human. We are allowed to be critical of things. We're allowed to have judgments. We're allowed to have our own opinions, right? But I think we take it a little too far sometimes, where we put ourselves in these situations, like we put ourselves in someone else's shoes, and we try to compare. We try to see why someone does something. Sometimes you don't need to know. Sometimes you just need to move on with your life and move on with your day. And it doesn't have to make sense to you. Things that make sense to other people do not have to make sense to you. They don't. And that's why I said, not everyone is an artist. Not everyone is creative. So how could you really think you can understand the intentions and the full meaning of what someone is doing? You will never know because you are not that person. You don't deserve to know. The only type of analytical reason you should understand is your own, on why you're doing something. The only person you should be analytical on is you, basically. Analyzing other people, first of all, it questions yourself and it also questions them. Like if you're going to be analytical in front of someone else, they're going to start questioning themselves. Why would you want them to question themselves? They're doing something that they like to do. Like, okay, if someone is on the sidewalk and they're doing like some chalk, drawing some chalk on the sidewalk, and they're not a child, right? They're not a child, but you're watching them make chalk designs and you're like, wow, that's so like childish. Why are they doing that? Oh my God, it's going to rain soon and everything. Like that's analytical. That's analytical. You are not observing the situation. You are literally just trying to make meaning of what they're doing and judging it, labeling it, titling it, trying to put emphasis on what they're doing instead of just observing it, just watching and letting it be, That person could be making chalk and they could be making motivational videos for people, and, it could be something big that they love to do. It could be their passion, Don't question other people. Question yourself. Be analytical of your own life. Don't be analytical of others. And this is me being analytical of being analytical. It sounds so contradicting, but it's true. I'm being analytical right now just by speaking of what other people do. And to be observational is to literally observe. You are just a bird. You are literally an owl, a bird, observing. You are not saying anything. You can think what you want to think, but you are not putting it out into the universe. You're not giving off energy. You are literally observing. Observing is what artists do. Okay? Artists, we are able to, and I say I'm an artist because I create. And I have my own vision of what makes sense to me. Just as anyone can have their own vision of what makes sense to them. It doesn't have to make sense to you. It has to make sense to me. So as an artist, we observe more than we analyze, because analyzing is like for scientists, it's for facts. It's for finding true meaning. Whereas artists, we paint a picture for you to create the meaning. That's the beauty of art. Art is subject to the beholder. Same as beauty, Things that you can look at, things that you can observe are for you to take upon yourself and analyze, right? Analyze. You don't analyze the person doing it, you analyze the complete product. You know, if you're passing by that person making chalk on the sidewalk, you can analyze the finished product, but you cannot analyze that person. You observe the person, you observe. And that's where you get creativity. You get creativity from observing. You don't get creativity from analyzing. Analyzing is for facts. Analyzing is for making sense of things. Some things don't have to make sense. And usually that's what is creativity. That is what the artists create. Artists create things that are not meant to make sense because they make sense to the artist. And it's up to you to analyze what you want to analyze out of it, you know? So the difference between analyzing and observing is literally just putting yourself in that situation. It is saying, hey, I wouldn't do this, or I would do it like this. Why are they doing that? Why are they doing it like this? Just observe. Just let the artist be an artist. And maybe you'll find some sort of creativity out of that. You can be inspired. You can be motivated through observing. Everything doesn't have to make sense under your laws. And we have our own common sense, our own laws, our own way of thinking, our own way of living. We all don't match that. We don't. So the only person you should ever be analytical on is yourself. Because we're not all artists. We're not. We're all critics. We all critique everything. We all judge everything. We need a label for absolutely everything. We need a label so bad that we can't move on with our day unless we project what we think about something. Even on the internet, through the comment section, everyone is analytical when it doesn't make sense to them. So maybe it's time to start observing. Create your own art. Be your own artist. Be a creator of your own, you know, so people can be analytical on you or observe what you're doing, right? That's basically what I wanted to talk about today. It's just the difference between being analytical and being observational. You know, there's a difference and there's no right or wrong. It's just knowing when to use it and not letting it mix up your life into your own terms. You know, you can do what you want by analyzing and observing, but it can come off wrong to some people. So, yeah. Thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.